Hello folks, with Christmas just around the corner, Bellshill is going to be turning into Jinky Bellshill on the 2nd of December. It's a Saturday. In Bellshill Cultural Centre. We've got Jinky right here. Say hello, Jinky.
Hello from my industrial background.
And we've got sitting here with our coffees here and a wee biscuit. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, first of all, Jinky, you've had a long career in the music industry, so what keeps your creative juices flowing?
I mean, that's a question that, because I'm a more mature person now, it's a question that's more in the last few years have been asked. And when you're younger, you're asked about your second album and your third album. When you're older, you're asked about why you keep doing it. It's quite funny. I watch artists like Willie Nelson, Benny Gallagher, Scottish artist. These kind of guys that are still doing it. And I'm sure if George Michael and Prince were still alive, they'd still be doing it. I'm sure, well, I say they'd still be doing it. I mean, in their latter years, and if they were 50, 60, 70, I'm sure if Prince got to the dizzy heights of 70 and George Michael the same, you could be asking them a very similar question, and I'm sure they would give you the same answer. It's not something that you want to do, it's something that you have to do. You have to do it. If I hear a story, I have to write about it. If I hear a story that touches me, it stays with me for ages. And I've got one subject in particular, and it's been boiling with me for 3 weeks. And I think there's an indication of why some people drop out. It's because they lose that spark. They don't need it anymore in their lives. They've written their classic 2 albums,
Sure, and
they're happy with them, and they bow out and you never hear of them again. And then they'll do an 80s tribute, act. So yeah, when I see that sort of stuff, I think, they're keeping going for the same reasons that I'm keeping going, because they love it, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It is a drug.
Cool. Now, I've heard your new track, Glasgow Town, which I must say is a very beautiful track. I really enjoyed listening to it. Now, judging by the lyrics, it's obvious that Glasgow is very important to you. Do you remember your first Glasgow memory?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about Glasgow being important to me, it is important to me because I suppose I always wanted to be a Glaswegian because I was brought up in Coatbridge. I always felt Lanarkshire, but, I don't know, does it make any difference that you were born in Glasgow? Because I was born in Glasgow. And but my earliest memories is going to a shop, and I just remember the name of it, Dee's, in Glasgow. And they sold all these cool things, cool shoes and cool shirts and stuff. And at 14, my parents allowed me to go into Glasgow by myself. I don't know if that would happen today, but it certainly did then. And I went into this shop, and the guy basically took my money and gave me anything, and an ill-fitted shirt, terrible fitting trousers, shoes that were too wee for me that he said I could squeeze into, they'd be fine, they would stretch. So that was my earliest memory of being what I thought was a big boy going to Glasgow, and then having the embarrassment of going back with my dad 2 hours later to change them all. So yeah, but also just going to the football for the first time, whether it doesn't matter whether you're a Rangers supporter, Celtic supporter, Partick Thistle, Hamilton, anything, but just that idea of going into the big city to go and watch a football match, and it was the big city. Coatbridge was a very small place when I was a small boy.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, going from Glasgow back to Lanarkshire, actually, where you grew up, what kind of impact did Lanarkshire have on you as a songwriter?
I mean, right from the first album, Sunnyside Pal, which was written about the death of my good friend, probably more like my brother. All my early songs, the whole of Sunnyside Pal is all about Coatbridge and all about the train station that ran past Coat Dyke and went up to Airdrie. Now goes all the way to Edinburgh. So all my early songs, I think if you're a writer, even though there's a great book writer actually from Coatbridge, there's a guy called Brian Conahan, and Brian's a friend of mine, and he's written some fantastic books, and he's now been signed to Bloomsbury Publishing, and he goes round the world now. And his books are about, the content of some of his books, although I've never read them because I don't read books. He talks about the Mint Bar in Coatbridge, and he talks about, 2 guys. He encompasses some of my songs in some of his writing in his books, about some of these characters are listening to JJ Gilmour. I mean, it's a great honour for me. So I think that when you come from an area, you would, unlike, dare I say, and I'm probably being a bit naughty here, unlike Sheena Easton and Lulu, I don't really want to forget where I came from. Sorry, Lulu. Sorry, Sheena.
So, what made you pick up your first instrument with that in mind?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really start playing until I was about 14 or 15. I was a kind of a child singer, and that was in my family. And I got my first TV performance on Junior Showtime for Tyne Tees Television when I was 6. And I think then I knew that I would probably stay in the music industry, or at least try to stay in it. And it doesn't matter. I don't think success is based on whether you play in the Hydro or whether you play in Bellshill Cultural Centre. The same passionate people will come to see you as they do for 10, 15,000 people in the Hydro.
Yeah.
And they'll say the same things. We love you. We love what you do. And that inspires you to get better. And I think that's what inspired me initially to pick up an instrument, was to think I need to take this a step further. I need to start writing more. I need to be more creative rather than relying on other musicians to play pieces of music that I would go, yeah, that's brilliant, we should use that. I started to play bad piano and bad guitar, but I can play them well enough to create something.
Absolutely, yeah, that sounds good. Now, one of the things I've always wanted to ask singer-songwriters, which I've never actually got round to before, is does it bother you how your songs are perceived by people and how they interpret them?
I mean, I remember Springsteen phoning up. I can't remember what artist it was, but they did "Blinded by the Light," and they got the lyrics wrong in it. And Springsteen read the Riot Act with them. God, it was an English band as well, and he got really annoyed with them when he changed over our notes here. He got really annoyed with them because they got a lyric, "Blinded by the light, cut loose like a deuce, another runner in the night," and they got it completely wrong. And Springsteen was furious about it, and he got really angry with them, and he rang them up about it. And I think a few people have covered my songs, and they've covered it their own way, and they've left out words. And also fans send you videos of them singing your songs, which is a beautiful thing. I remember when we played actually, the funny thing is when you play to a crowd and then the crowd starts singing your song, and it's not until you get to into maybe the third or fourth line or the fifth line of the song, you kind of see them one by one dropping off, going, "Know that bit of the song?" You're trying to get them to sing along. It's like Flower of Scotland. Once the whole entire Hamden gets past the first verse, everybody goes, "Where did he go again? Was it Edward that came? What happens next?" And it's a bit like that when you write songs. You shouldn't expect everybody to know them, even if as Billy Connolly says it, just hum it.
Absolutely. Now, Jinky, I've got a quick fire round for you here.
Yeah.
So, first question I've got here is, what's your karaoke song?
My Way, Frank Sinatra.
Brilliant. Now, if you had the chance to write any song in the world, whether it be yours or any other song, what would it be?
Probably Imagine by John Lennon.
Good one, obviously. Describe your song in 5 words. Describe your sound in 5 words, rather.
Deep, 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 and then deeper.
Now, what's your favourite cover song of all time?
Favourite cover song? I don't do many cover songs, but my favourite, certainly at the moment, and it probably will be of all time, is 5 Years by David Bowie.
Brilliant. What's your favourite Christmas song?
Probably, yeah, I was going to say White Christmas, but it's probably David Bowie and Bing Crosby, the little drummer boy,
Grand.
And then Shane MacGowan done it. He should have done
it. And lastly, on the quickfire round, who would be in your dream band?
Oh man, that's a good question. Probably John Lennon and George Harrison.
Yeah.
And maybe Jeff Lynne and Tom Petty and Bob Dylan.
And
Joni Mitchell.
Oh, brilliant.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Now, to finish off, Jinky, what have you got in store for us at Bellshill Cultural Centre on Saturday, the 2nd of December?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did a new album, Dees, at the tail end of last year. We brought it out, and it was an album of piano and strings. And I want to start off the show. It's kind of interesting when you go to your gig. You do the first 10 songs or 5 songs of the set, or maybe new songs, and you see the audience going, well, when is he going to get to the songs that we know? Is he going to do a silencer song? You kind of always leave them a wee bit in suspense of would they get really annoyed if you did most of your new album. And to say that I'm probably going to do most of a new album wouldn't be a lie, but you know, it's good to guess as well. You know, I don't know if you or the audience that will watch this are familiar with the band Eels, who are one of my favourite bands. Whenever Mark comes to town, and he does from time to time, he always comes with a new edge to his show, something really different, and you've got to really admire that. There's nothing worse than going and seeing an artist and he does the same thing twice. I never do that. I never write things down. I wouldn't write a set list down and have wee quotes and comments. Oh, I better mention that because that got a laugh the last time. I think it's got to come off the cuff. And quite often, one of the best shows I ever saw was Elvis Costello in the Barrowlands, where he took a big wheel and he had all these songs on the big wheel and he just spun the big wheel, and wherever it landed was the song that he did. I have a hunch that there was a guy behind it stopping it at the songs. But anyway, I'll do lots of new songs. But definitely do some old favourites, and maybe we'll try and do a proper Christmas song this year.
Brilliant. That's fantastic, Jinky. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you, Fraser.
You can get your tickets by calling 01698 403 120 or 120 or going to culturenl.co.uk. Thanks very much, Jinky.
I won't give in, I won't give in to all the pressure that I'm in, 'cause I've got the willingness within. Well, if anything, my love, a wish from above. Well, I might be chasing love. I ain't gonna be a rolling stone, 'cause I just want somewhere to call home. I'm sick and tired of being alone. Well, if anything, I've tried that can be denied. Well, I might be wishing I was somewhere else, like in the arms of one who cares and holds me when I start to scream. Well, I might be chasing dreams, 'cause it's all a show, it's all I show. It don't matter where on earth I go, it's still the only thing I know. Well, if anything, my love, I wish kiss from above. Well, I might be chasing love, 'cause I won't give in, I won't give in to all the pressure that I'm in, 'cause I've got